Hey,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. Anytime someone comes in during this time, we're ecstatic.
We're live. Candance, we're live.
Okay. Well, good afternoon. Welcome to this week's Monday Biz Motivation. I'm Candance Simmons, board member for the Culver City Chamber. I'm also a business owner. I own All That and More Boutique. I have the pleasure of hosting this segment with Rafia Cooper, who's an ambassador for the Culver City Chamber. She's an ambassador for the Culver City Chamber. And this format was created to give us an opportunity to engage with many of our small businesses and expose them to the community, let you hear what they're doing, how they're serving the community. So with that being said, I'm going to hand it over to Rafia, who will introduce our special guest.
Thank you, Candance.
You're welcome.
Hi, everyone. So before I introduce our guest, I just want to remind everyone that if you want to ask any questions of any of us, please put it in the comments below and we will be happy to answer them for you. Yeah. So without any further delay, one of my favorite neighbors from my office is Earl Trusty, and he owns a interior design place and upholstery, window coverings and things like that, right?
Yes.
From Ferrufino Interiors. So welcome, Earl. How
Thank
are you
you
today?
It's great to be here and great to see you guys. I miss you guys.
We miss you too.
I know. I miss seeing you every day. It's crazy, huh? That were neighbors for so long, and now we don't see each other all the time.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your business, how you got started, how long you've had it, and what exactly you do.
Okay. My name's Earl Trusty. I'm owner of Ferrufino Interiors and Budget Blinds in Culver City on Sepulveda, in between Venice Boulevard and Washington Place, near Tito's Tacos. And, you know, that's the mecca of
now everyone knows exactly where you are.
Yeah. You know, when
landmark pinned.
When we moved over here, we thought that we would just saying we were on Sepulveda, in between those, everybody would know where it's at. And so many times we're trying to have people pinpoint. We say, oh, we're just, north of Tito's. And they're like, oh, okay, I know exactly where you're at. So it's worked out having that mecca nearby. So anyway, we started, the business was started, Ferrufino Interiors was started by my father-in-law out of his garage in Mar Vista, California. Wow. And he started it over 50 years ago, 52 years ago. And he was an immigrant from El Salvador. And he just wanted to start the business out of his garage, and he started it, and he had a great following for 30 years. And when Julia and I met, we were both doing different things, and he was getting ready to retire, and we kind of thought, well, you know what, why don't we, we were in our 20s and thinking, kind of like wide-eyed and, just starting out together. And we thought, well, maybe we'll take this over. And of course, we kind of thought, oh, we'll just have it for like maybe 2 or 3, 5 years and sell it and go on to something else. But as it turned out, we kept adding things over the years. We went from, he just basically did upholstery, which he did great upholstery work, but we started doing custom furniture, and then custom furniture led to slip covers, and then slip covers led to draperies, and then draperies led to blinds. And so it just seemed like we just kept adding on different things. And I think that's what kind of made it a little bit more, kept our interests going, so we kept, as we changed over the years. And in 2002, we acquired a Budget Blinds franchise for this area. And that opened up our world to a lot more different window coverings than what we had been doing. And so we started servicing the area. So we've had our Budget Blinds franchise for, I guess, 17 years now. And we've had the business Ferrufino Interiors for 32 years. And we've been married for 32 years. That's why it's always kind of like, I know when I started my business, and I know when I got married, if I can remember 1988, and so that's my story.
So Julia, you mentioned Julia. For those of you
Yes.
that don't know, that's your wife. 32
Yes.
years.
32 years, yeah.
Congratulations. That's
And we're doing
awesome.
well with the COVID. I've been telling a lot of people that this is a good time to be married to someone that you like.
Yes.
Because you
It
can
is.
love someone,
Yeah.
but not really want to be around them much. But we've been doing pretty well during this COVID period together.
Yes, 24/7 together.
Yeah. So all the weekends, you got to be creative with different things to do every weekend. We've been pretty creative with games and just like we started playing darts lately. It's kind of a new, and we're actually playing a game of darts, so it's kind of like something new that we got introduced to. So, and believe it or not, we're pretty competitive with those darts,
So Earl, have you been in that same location for 32 years? Were you always
No,
or-
we started out, we've always been in Culver City since we've had the business. We were over on Washington Boulevard near Beethoven, which is that strip of Culver City. So, and then we moved over by where we were next to Jeff when he was on the corner, Rafia's husband, on the corner of Jefferson and Slauson. We were probably there for about 10 to 15 years, and I think we've been here for about 10 years. So we can't get away from Culver City. We love Culver City.
And you can't get away from the Coopers.
No, really, that's how that happened. That's amazing. Yeah. Divine intervention. Yeah.
Yes.
So I met you, Earl, through the Culver City Chamber, and I have come to know that there are several of my clients that love what you've done for their furnishings. And I think the most interesting challenge I may have given you was
I still remember that day. Go ahead, though.
I have a client who's 92 years old now, and she lives in Culver City, and she had these Raggedy Ann dolls. And she was determined that they were starting to, I guess, dry rot. And she was determined to get Andy's legs fixed. And Andy needed stockings. And we took it to the cleaners here in Culver City. And then they said we couldn't do it. And I remembered from the chamber that we had met you. So I drove her over. She picked up this doll that was life size. And I'll let you take the story from there.
Well, I remember her walking in, and that doll was as big as her.
Yes.
and I kept thinking, okay, like we have a lot of people bring us unusual projects because we are a small workroom. So we do a lot of things that other people would not normally do because we can, we're a lot smaller and we kind of take on challenges. Plus we've been in business for so many years. So we've had different things that, like we're at someone's house and they just happened to mention some project that they've been wanting to do. And I'm kind of thinking, okay, well, maybe we could do this, or I take it to my, show my foreman or my seamstress and just ask her. But when she walked in with that Raggedy Ann doll, I was kind of like, I don't know about this, we don't, well, the problem is, not to get too technical, but like fabrics, like you said, they dry rot or they kind of like start to just disintegrate or, after time. And of course, those dolls weren't made with really heavy fabric, but oh gosh, she's so cute. And you were with her and I kind of thought, I got to help her. And because I said, this isn't our thing. She goes, but what am I going to do? And her eyes just look like a little girl that you're going to tell her that you're going to take her doll away. And I just kind of thought, oh my God, I can't say no to her. So we did it. Yeah, and so I showed it to my seamstress, I showed it to my foreman. They said, "Oh, we can start getting creative about trying to repair it." But what I thought was so funny was we did Andy, and then and she came to pick it up, and she was so happy, and she goes, "Well, I got to bring in Annie let's see, Annie next." And I was like, "What do you mean, Annie?" She said, "Well, she's got to be fixed too. He can't be without Annie." So it was a challenge, but I was glad we were able to make her happy. And I know it meant, like things, I guess that's what we work with, a lot of antiques, a lot of people's memories. Yeah. And sometimes, people have been through things and they've had challenges, and these little mementos just mean, and sometimes it's just something that they can control, Like you might not be able to control a lot, but yet you can get that doll fixed, or you can have that chair upholstered, or you can, you know. So I
What
was
a great
glad.
story. I love
Mhm.
it.
She was
Yeah.
so insistent. And what you don't know, Earl, is she had recently lost her husband. So
Oh,
having the two together was really significant to her. So like she was like, you can't do one without the other. So the fact
yeah.
that you're able to fix both, it meant a lot. And she's moved from Culver City and come back. And there they are in her living room.
So Julia is watching, Earl's wife. She's watching.
Julia.
And she says, Candance. So that was your doing. And she put a happy face.
It was. And Earl can tell you, she's not at 92. No is not an option for her. And it
No.
will
no.
not be an option for you either.
No.
She really, that was kind of I was thinking about that because, there was something that popped up about, on Facebook about Mrs. Beasley doll, you know, that doll that was real popular when we were kids. And my cousin, she had one of those. And of course, all little girls did, but, you know, that was 50 years old. And so I was sharing that story just over the weekend because they were talking about Mrs. Beasley turning 50 or whatever, her 50th anniversary. And anyway, but I was thinking about the Raggedy Ann and Andy's story, and I was talking to Julia about that, like her bringing that doll in, and it was really sweet. It was one of the, I guess we had a lot of little precious moments. That's one thing that's kind of kept me motivated over the years is definitely it's never the same story. You know, we're always, I mean, we're not like upholstering the sofa over and over again in the same fabric. We're always doing a different material or, you know, and the challenges that we have. And of course, I've had the staff that I've had working for me for years. Like my foreman Armando actually worked for my father-in-law before I took over the business. And he's been with us 32 years. And then my cousin Renee, that's the office manager. I mean, she's been with me 24 years. She just yelled in the background, 24. And
we see Renee at all the mixers, at all the chamber events. We see Renee there, so we're all familiar with her. That's great. It's wonderful to have family working with you for that long.
It really
That's
is.
wonderful.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, you know, and then of course, you know, like the other employees, everybody has been with us for quite some time. For the most part, we hardly have anyone that's been with us less than like 5 years. You know, everybody's been with us for a while. So it's been a challenge. It's been a challenge with you know, everything going on, but it's been also nice that we've got the same people and we've all been on the same page about social distancing and mask wearing, and that has made a big difference with trying to be safe during this time and schedule everything, because everybody's, you know, pretty much family and, you know, on the same page about trying to be careful. And it's really been a blessing, and, you know, very thankful. Yeah.
So speaking of that, and we did have a comment. JT said, "Happy New Year, you guys." So thanks for watching.
Happy New Year, JT.
And so thinking about that, Earl, how have you had to shift your business during COVID? Are you doing virtual appointments? Are you open at 20%? How are you guys faring during COVID?
Well, we had our front doors open, you know, all the time that we were open during the day. We just had the front doors open because we got a little courtyard in front, and it was always kind of nice just to leave the doors open. But of course, when this happened, we closed the doors and we just put a sign up that we were only doing by appointment only, which, I mean, at first I thought, oh, this is not going to work because we were just so used to everybody just kind of showing up. But what we found is that we probably will keep it this way even after COVID's over, just because it really has been more effective to have appointments only than to just have walk-ins all the time. And we can actually kind of focus on different projects a lot better. We can manage our time so much better. And we really, it's been something that if someone would told me that it would have worked, I would never have believed it. I would have thought, no, that's not going to work. Not for our business. But, you know, I hear that all the time. You know, I'm still on a lot of Zoom meetings. I'm in network mixers and different things. I mean, virtual, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I miss our Culver City mixer, our chamber.
I know yours once a year was a huge
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
At
I
your
really
place.
miss those, but like we gotta do it. But I in some other network mixers that we do on Zoom, and everybody says the same thing. They come up with different things that really have worked for them that they never would have expected, and it's just been kind of interesting just to hear all the things, and that's one of them. So we tell everybody that whenever we're making an appointment that we're all wearing masks, they have to wear masks. And a lot of times I've had it's not worked against us at all, because I mean, from the start, because I've had customers call me and say, we hear how careful you guys are being over there, and that's why we're coming to you, because, we're taking this serious, and we're, wanting to keep our families safe. And, and all of our installers and delivery people, the whole thing, they all are on board with that too. So, yeah.
Awesome.
So that's kind of one of the ways that it's changed our business. But also, too, I mean, how it's affected our business. I got to tell you, our business has been blessed. We have been really busy during this time, because everybody has been home. So there are things that they didn't even think about redoing. They're the couches that they never sat on. They're like, oh my gosh, these cushions, they're so soft. I need firmer foam, or I need, which we do that too. We do cushion restuffing, make new covers. Sometimes we do a lot of outdoor. Another thing, we've always done these things, but like they've just been more important to people because they're at home all the time. So another thing, we've been building more custom sofas and chairs and headboards, things like that during this time. And one of the reasons is everybody's been telling me that it takes so long to get custom made things right now. And I mean, which we don't, it's not like a drive-through, it's still taking a few weeks, but we can, get a sofa made in like, 3 to 5 weeks for someone, or headboards, and which is, I guess, a lot better than right now. It's just really taking a long time for so many different products and different things. And so we're able to do a lot of things, and it has been really busy. And also too, even with the window coverings, people are at home. So some of the rooms that they weren't really using before, now they've got a home office, and they're kind of wanting to do different things, like with different screens because of their computers.
Right.
I couldn't have written a script. When this all happened, I thought we are going to probably go out of business. Not because there was any problems before, but I just kind of thought, I just couldn't believe anybody would be doing anything during a pandemic.
It's interesting how some businesses have grown more and others have, not been able to do what they normally did. And it's understandable. But you're right, there's a lot of home improvement stuff going on. I think, a lot of people staying home, so they're investing more money into their home.
Yeah, that's true. And I mean, well, like there was that your home is your castle. Right now, that is definitely true. Your home is your castle, because that's the only place you got to go. So it's for the most part. So you're making the most of it. And I hear a lot of nice stories, from that.
Yes. So Julia also says, "Hello, ladies. You are both so lovely. Thank you so much for this interview." Aww. Thank you, Julia.
Same about you too.
Yes, you should have had her come with you.
Well, you know what? She could be the poster girl for staying at home and during this time. We always worked together for years, but like probably about 5 years ago, we decided she was going to kind of work from home, do most of the paperwork from there, which she's a great cook. So, I'm not complaining with that at all. So when I come home, there's always something good, creative, and warm, and I got to give her praise for that, because
yes, you do. I see your posts about it.
Yeah, I always like the post because she's very creative with cooking. It's just been really, really great. So.
Yes, no, I see your posts about it. It's definitely great to have somebody that can cook in your house during this time.
Yeah.
It's not burning biscuits and setting off fire alarms.
No.
But you've also gotten better at it, Candance, because it was funny because a while back, Candance was trying to make some biscuits, which she burned, and asked everybody on Facebook, do you think they're still edible or are they too burned to eat?
Yeah, I'll tell you what my dad would say if he were here. He's like, oh, no, she can cook. She can. It's just a matter of her doing it. And that's when I was multitasking. So I was trying to have a phone call, trying to make biscuits, try to do this and that. And it just didn't go over very well. But yeah.
Well, yeah, it's to me, cooking's amazing. I just don't understand like how people can, be getting to the table and everything warm. That whole process just amazes me when someone can do that. I think you gotta give it up for them.
Yes, you do. So Earl, as you think about where you are currently, it seems like, folks have really taken to my home is my castle and let me repair my windows, my couch, my sofa, my chairs. As you think about the business and what you guys have been able to do, what is something that has been like the most challenging or the most rewarding project that you've worked on during the pandemic?
That's a good one. Oh, okay. I can tell you one that was really interesting. I wish I had pictures to show you of this. We had this client they had a flood in their home. They lived over in Marina del Rey. And anyway, they had to have everything removed. Well, some way the moving company that they hired or wherever they stored this sofa, it was, the sofa got ruined. It was like broken. I mean broken. I could not believe what in the world landed on this or whatever. But anyway, they sent us pictures, and what had happened was the husband, his mother had passed away recently, and she had got this sofa for him and picked out the fabric and did this whole thing. And so I was telling him, I said, this is going to be really hard because this fabric is like about 20 years old, and trying to put the same fabric back on the sofa. We couldn't even repair the frame. I had to have a new frame made and then put this fabric back on. And then, so it looked like, and they had saved, believe it or not, after 20 years, they had like about 3 or 4 yards of fabric left.
Wow.
And so we took off all the fabric that we could, being real careful. And we had built a new sofa frame, and we put the fabric back on. So, and he was just so happy. There again, it was just part of his mother that he was not wanting to give up yet. And, the wife was happy. And they were just like, so happy that also one of the sofas that they had in their house, I guess it was so water damaged that there was just no saving, but they had to build a whole new custom sectional and everything for their house. And so it was just when I looked at it, I thought, I don't know how we're going to do this, just putting back everything and being able to use this thing, but it worked out and they were happy. So that's been one of the challenges, I guess I could say, that we've had, or one of the designer challenges we've had. Yeah.
But look how it was such a blessing to them that you were able to preserve that memory, preserve that connection for them. I think that is something that I've just experienced with, again, my clients and the realtors that have used your services, that they always speak so highly of the commitment and the willingness that you guys have and the quality that you provide. So it's great to hear.
Thank you. Yeah, well, we try. We want to give people something that they're with the upholstery and the custom furniture. We want to do it so it lasts, because they are paying more to have it done. It's not so we want them, when we do it, we try to use high quality foam, cotton. My guys, I wouldn't hire anyone unless they had like 15 years experience. Upholstery is like a craft that you really don't get good at until you've been doing it for quite some time. And even though I don't do all of this stuff, I'm always kind of blowing them away because I know how it's done and I know what I want it to look like. And they're always like, well, okay, how are you coming up with this? And you don't even, I'm not the handiest person in the world, but I come up with some way ideas that kind of make it work. And so we all work together. It's all a group effort,
Nice.
So
there's a thing behind you with a like a picture of something. It's blue right behind you. That's a blind, right? And you
That's a roller shade. Yeah.
It's-
Yeah. There's graphic roller shades that people can get. And that's one of the graphic shades. A funny story about that. We had a lady that lived in Malibu. And another thing that you can do on roller shades is you can actually have pictures, like they can, like if you have a photograph of yourself, I guess, if you really want to put yourself on, or just something with your kids or something. But anyway, she had a photograph of her son. He's a surfer, and it was like this picture was the picture of surfing. I mean, it was like it was like the guy was in the eye, like perfect Hawaii 5-0. Remember that when they'd open up and they would see that in the eye of the wave. She had one of those pictures of her son, and she wanted us to put this on these roller shades, which I thought was kind of funny because she lived in Malibu and her house faced the beach. So she had a view of the ocean. But of course, like a mother's love for her son. So she had us put those on the roller shade, and it just looks so cool,
Wow. So you can put anything you want on there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can put you can download a picture or just I gotta tell you, it's not cheap, but yeah, it can be done. And it's and she had like this all over, like she had like about 3 or 4 shades like this. She loves her son,
Well, talk about being custom,
Yeah.
That's really custom.
So Earl, another great outing that I remember, Rafia and I and Jeff and a few of my clients were in attendance, it's an annual event and you're raising money. Can you talk a little bit about that, and if you've been able to do anything with that organization virtually during the pandemic?
Yeah, well, I'm a veteran. I'm a Navy veteran. And so I've gotten involved over the last few years. They had this over Memorial Day. It was a 5K that would raise money for New Directions, which is over at the VA campus. And they help veterans get back on their feet. And it's a really good organization. So the last few years, we'd had as part of our Sprixer, our spring mixer, we would have raffle and raise money, and it really was a lot of fun because we'd always I go to I'm a member of about 5 different chambers of commerce, so I would have them come in with all my networking groups, and we usually have a pretty good attendance. And I think last year we raised close to about $900, plus also a lot of times people would sign up for the 5K, and with the that was held over at the Veterans Campus. With the COVID, I got to tell you, I haven't been able to do much, with this. And I guess I mean, I still keep in touch with the New Directions, and I know they've had some online fundraisers, and which people can donate. And I donate some different some gift certificates, but I haven't really been. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping, I guess 2022 that we can get back to doing that again. I mean,
would you be interested in ever doing it virtually?
Well, I wouldn't mind it, but I'm just not the most techie person. I've got a guy working for me, Nick. I'll call him Nick because his name is Nick. And he's really techie, so maybe I'll have to talk to him to see whether maybe he could help us out with that. I'm sure he could because he's very good with all.
Well, I mean, you couldn't have all the food and the wonderful drinks and everything that you did. But,
no, that was something I really kind of enjoyed because I'd always try to use so many different people, like the Elric Cohen, the Cuban place down the street. I tried to do so many different restaurants that was local, Copenhagen Bakery, just different places to. Kind of promote also 2 different businesses in the neighborhood. So
exactly. And also the shoes for the homeless. To do that, remember?
Yeah, that one. Oh, we still are active with that. We still have people bringing us buy bags of shoes, and what that was started by Dr. Ira Diamond, who's a Culver City resident, Shoes for the Homeless, and we still have the box in front, and so we still have people dropping off shoes. And they've been picking them up, and I know it's been challenging for them too with the COVID going on. But yet, then of course the homeless problem. There's just so many, it's just such an amazing story how he got started in on that and how it's grown, all over the country. you know, that there's different different segments of that, you know, all over the country. So it's really been wonderful and such a blessing. You know, he's a Culver City treasure, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's good to know. So for those of you watching, if you do want to donate shoes, you can go over to Earl's place and put him in the box outside.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well, we got the box inside actually, but like sometimes people, they'll either if they come and, you know, they call us to let us know they're coming over to drop them off. That probably would be a good idea. I mean, just to, you know, to call us and let us know that they're dropping them off. But sometimes we come in the morning and people have just left the shoes out there, you know, and we put them in the box and everything. You know.
Well, I'll say, Earl, that your events were very inspiring to me, just how many folks showed up and all of the different restaurants that you got involved and were supported and sponsored and really showcased at your event. So it was very well organized, from the way the tickets were there, the raffles were done, and just the different organizations that you got to support. And the shoes for the homeless, you know, after seeing what you had there, I contacted Ira and was like, hey, I'd love to be a part of it too. So they can also drop shoes off here at the boutique as well. So I've had it since I attended your event and saw that. And I was able to connect with a lot of the business owners and
friends
as a result of attending your event. It was just so well done and so well organized, and folks were just there and excited to be there. So
yeah, it usually is a pretty good time for everybody and everything, and like to catch up and stuff like that, with different things. I gotta tell you though, just a little bit about like how we got involved with the Walk for Warriors or the 5K. This was it goes back quite a few years ago, because President Obama was the president then, and Julia had told me that said, "Oh, you'll want to see this today because." The First Lady, Michelle Obama at the time, and the second First Lady, who's now our present First Lady, Jill Biden, was going to be on Oprah. And they were talking about veterans and like how, you know, the push to do that. And they said this one thing, and Julie and I was just sitting there on the couch, and they said, everybody talks about they support the vets, but what do you actually do to support the vets? You know, is it just a phrase that we all use and, you know, that nothing ever happens? And we both just kind of looked at each other and we kind of thought, we've got to start doing something, you know, to start, you know, kind of putting, not just for it just to be words that we repeat with no meaning. And so anyway, right after that, kind of talk about divine intervention, we got some flyer, we saw something online about New Directions who were starting up this 5K. I mean, this was probably, they were on TV in February, and like within the month, they were going to have it over Memorial Day, and it was going to be the first one. We thought, okay, this is what we need to do. We can do this, and, you know, attend the 5K, which you could walk, you know, or run. And it was just a really good way to start. And I guess that began our journey on supporting vets, or trying to be more of an active role in that community and everything. So, and I am so glad as of that, you know, to be able to do that and be able to participate and do what I can. Yeah.
I can really appreciate that, because after the presidential speech last week, I had a client come in and she's like, I'm fired up and I got to get to Washington. And I was like, well, what are you going to do in Washington? She's like, I don't know, but I got to get there. I got to help. I got to do something. We have to help. We have to help. We can't just sit here and do anything. So I can really appreciate that you listened and you took action.
And you know what? It doesn't matter whether it's a Democrat. That if someone inspires someone, no matter who it is, if it's Nancy Reagan, you know, like I always liked that Nancy Reagan inspired like design, because I always thought that was good for the economy, you know, like about different things, and how she was, you know, kind of like on fashion and different things like that. I mean, you think about it, first ladies, no matter what political party, can really kind of gear different things in the country. Yeah. Jackie Kennedy with her Rose Garden, you know, hey, you know, like they all did different things that really can kind of help, you know, make the country a better place, no matter what party and they're with. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well,
Yeah.
believe
Exactly.
it or not, we're past the half-hour mark.
We are.
Well, I
We
want
are.
You know
before
what
we
was
go to the
funny is-
motivation, I wanted to say a couple of things. One is that Earl recently patronized my business and came over to purchase some holiday gifts. And when he came to purchase them, he brought me something. So I'm going to save these, and he brought me several of them, and I'm going to save them to give away on Culver City Kind.
Nice.
And this is what it is. And it says, in a world where you can be anything, be kind. So look for this promo when I start doing it, and I'll give you a challenge. And some lucky winners will get some of these.
They're beautiful. Now, do they hang on the wall, Rafia?
They do. They're wall hangings. They're made with wood, and they have like, a little hanger thing in the back of it, and it's beautiful.
It is.
So it can be put anywhere. I mean, you could probably just even put it on the shelf, if you wanted to. But they're gorgeous, and so I'm going to do some sort of a challenge with these, and I might do it for Mother's Day because they're so floral.
They look like hearts to me, but I guess that's because I just see hearts and everything. But they're flowers.
Oh,
Yeah, they're flowers.
Yeah.
They're flowers. Yes. I mean, it could do it for Valentine's Day too. But I thought this was such a thoughtful thing that Earl brought me several of these, and he thought that I could use it for my Culver City Kind group. And I also want to give him one more shout out. To me, he has been the biggest advocate for the Culver City Kind group because he has invited so many people to join this group, and so many have, and it's just grown because of you, and I just appreciate you doing that so much. And anybody can share it, and anyone can invite more people to join, but it has been a really wonderful place that has grown thanks to Earl so much. I really appreciate that.
Well, I got to tell you, when I saw those placards, I thought, okay, it was just like I didn't even have to think twice about it. I thought those have Rafia's name written all over. I mean, God,
Very
like,
nice.
and but on the Culver City Kind, I don't know if you know this, but we hosted for a few years some French interns in our business. They were doing, and anyway, so we've kept in contact with them. But a lot of the people from France is our interns, even some of their parents, and they said they just love seeing those things in the morning, like when they go over there on their Facebook and they see the positive messages. And so your Culver City Kind is big in France.
Oh, that's wonderful. I love
You got
that.
French following, yes. Yeah.
love that.
And
See?
Indiana, because I'm from Indiana originally, and a lot of my high school friends and family back there, they really like that too. I see them on
And
there.
they participate, and that's great. I love it.
It's
Jim Clark didn't have any idea what he was starting when he declared Culver City a kind city. So
yeah, that's great. Hey,
It's
it begins with
wonderful.
one step, Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I want to thank you guys for having me on. It's really been a pleasure. I've really enjoyed it, and it's just you guys are such a positive people to be in Culver City and in the world and in the neighborhood, and it's a wonderful day in the neighborhood.
it is a wonderful day.
And we're not letting you go just yet, Earl.
Not yet.
okay.
We're not
We
done yet.
want to talk about the events that are happening, that are coming up in the Culver City Chamber. And then we're going to ask you what motivates you. What's your motivation for this week? So sit tight. You can't slack
Okay.
just yet.
Okay.
Ponder that question.
Right.
Mhm.
So,
Alrighty.
upcoming events. Rafia, would you like to take them, or?
So we have our bi-weekly COVID-19 business roundtable. That's today at 2:30.
Yes.
And then we have a joint Thursday with the Greater San Fernando Chamber, Thursday, January 28th from 4 to 5 p.m. So I think you have to sign up for that. So make sure you go to the website and register.
Yes. So it's It's been great. And one of the things I've appreciated about the Culver City Chamber is over this past 10 months, almost a year, there have been so many opportunities where they've shifted and pivoted and gone virtual. So we're still meeting virtually, for our Culver City breakfast meetings. We've partnered with other chambers, the San Fernando Valley Chamber, the LAX Coastal Chamber. And it's just been a great opportunity to continue to network with other like-minded business owners to find ways to stay, to grow, to thrive, to sustain your business during this time. So as Rafia mentioned, there's 2 events this week. Go to the new Culver City website and browse around and see what the events are happening for this week and the upcoming weeks.
And I saw a new thing on our little ticker that says, welcome to the new, our newest members.
Yeah.
So we have Eric Shapsis and WeHo Sausage. Is that what I'm reading? And then I forgot who the third one was. It's coming.
It's coming. It's growing.
Yeah. That's cool. I'm reading
Doctor
that too.
Behavioral Health. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Prime Accounting Solutions. Wonderful. Those are good. That's great.
Yeah, I think our chamber is small and mighty, and the members, Colin and the other staff members have done a great job of keeping us all informed. And folks that aren't members, they found a lot of great information in terms of how to respond to COVID, how to secure your business, PPE products that were given out freely. So there's been a lot that the Culver City Chamber has done over the past 10 months to keep us all engaged and keep us informed. So great job to the chamber.
Absolutely. Colin does a great job with all of that.
Yes.
I've got to say, too, I've been a member of the Culver City Chamber for quite some time, and we do get business from the Culver City Chamber.
Yes.
And I know one thing that you guys should probably think about doing is your ladies mixer. That always seemed to be, I know Renee went to quite a few of those.
Yes, the women in business. Yes.
Yeah. It seems like ladies really network a lot better. I don't know whether this is I kind of think that, but I mean, the ladies really do network really well together when they're you take the guys out of the picture and
No, those were fun. I mean, all of them were really nice. It was nice to interact with people and have that like-mindedness of business, and either one, the regular one and the women's one was good.
Yeah, the morning mixers have shaken Rafia and I up to get up early to attend, but we see value, and we're not morning people.
We're not.
The after 5 events have been great, and as you mentioned, Earl, the women in business mixers are definitely something that we'll be gearing up for and looking forward to attending virtually and however we need to attend moving forward. So we're really excited. I'm over the moon excited for what's ahead of us and thankful for what's behind us.
Well, I had shared that because I think I mentioned I'm a member of about 5 different chambers, and you guys were the first one that did the ladies mixer. And I know a few of the other ones, they tried it and they said that they were, it really was pretty successful. So you were trailblazers in that area.
Woo-hoo.
That was our awards too.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
Those were fun. So now it's also saying the new website address, the culvercitychamber.com. Please go check it out and see what new things have been put up there, and let Colin and the staff know what you think of it.
Yep. Awesome. Shall we talk about motivation?
Let's talk about motivation. So this show was started to see what motivates you to go on for the rest of the week, and that's why we do it on Mondays. So without further delay, Earl, can you tell us what motivates you for this week, or what motivations that you've put forward for yourself this week in your business?
Well, I got to say, with this going on, the biggest motivation I have is just to keep busy. I feel like that has kind of been a blessing that we have been so busy, because I really haven't had time to think about much other than just keeping the wheels going, and just keep getting projects out. So I guess that's been my big motivation. But I've had, one thing I had something this week, and I'm not going to go into it, but someone said something kind of mean to me. And kind of like, it was kind of like, I was just kind of like a little bit, but I started doing this. It might be something that it really does work. I decided about a year ago, if someone does something mean to you or says something mean to you, to like take that and look at it like, okay, I need not to be like that person. I need to like keep my eyes open to where if someone comes in my direction, to show them more compassion than what I would normally do, to lend an ear more, and to give, instead of looking at it like a negative, like almost like kind of, I'm glad they did that to me, because I'm more aware of the type of person I should be or what I should be putting out in the universe. So it really was kind of like, I've kind of changed it when something like that happens anymore. I don't get down on it. I'm kind of thinking, okay, this is kind of a jolt that I need to do a little bit better. So that's been my motivation this week. It's just been trying to kind of like listen a little bit more and try and keep my ears open. And, because there's a lot of people going through a lot right now, so you just that's what's got to keep you motivating, is that we've all got to get through this. We've got to, stimulate the economy as much as we can, with like the small businesses that's out there. Now here's going back to another thing that, being in business all this time, I've learned a few things. And I remember after 9/11, President Bush had, like small businesses were challenged. I mean, it was just really, really hard. And he really did a wonderful speech on like that we need to support the small businesses out there and, to get them going back up. And it was really sweet. I mean, I'd have people, they took that message to heart. And I had people bringing in like little ottomans, little cushions, little throw pillows. I mean, and big stuff too. But like, they really just seemed like it stirred something in their heart to do something to stimulate the economy. And I really think it made a big difference with everything. So, like we got to be out there, kind of plugging along and doing what we can.
Yeah. Exactly. That's great. Great.
Absolutely. I agree with you. I hope that we do go back to, some sort of reopening. And as we reopen, I hope that people do, go to their neighborhood small business and patronize those small businesses instead of the bigger stores.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So Candance.
Yes.
What's your motivation today? Because you are so motivated all the time. You put me to shame. So
no, that.
But I love it. I'm trying to learn from you in a way to be. I want you to be contagious to me in a way.
Okay.
So I could catch on some of that.
I'm here for all that. I have all that and more to give.
Yeah.
So my motivation, interestingly, is love. My motivation this week is love. I love hearts. I love love. I love to see people happy. I love to see people win. I love to see their reactions. And during the pandemic, I haven't been able to get as much of that going in terms of just my clients haven't been able to come in as much, but the ones that have, we create so much love and excitement, for each other and during the moments while they're shopping. But like Earl, I had a situation last week that someone did something and it didn't sit well with me because it was very hurtful and it could have been extremely hurtful to my business. But I overcame it because I got to a place and I said, you know what? People are hurting. This person had to have been hurting for them to lash out in that way. So I had to focus on loving the unlovable. Their behavior was pretty bad. It was like, really? And I was able to, talk to my husband about it, find a scripture where it talked about to be angry, but do not sin. And so, again, my focus has been just love, loving those unlovable situations. I have so many hearts in my store right now that they make me happy. And I want to continue to create moments for people to express more love to each other. And that's what our campaign will be going into February for Galentine's Day and Valentine's Day, getting the hearts out there, getting more love out there, encouraging people to love despite what it looks like. Again, situations come up, love the unlovable and love through the situation. Because if I had reacted and confronted, it would have put me in a place where I wouldn't have felt good about my actions. So I said, I'm going to love the unlovable and keep it moving.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
There's another saying that says, be kind to the unkind. They need it the most. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So that's my mission. Love.
There's a book.
Great.
I got to put this out there. A few years ago, Julia got me this book, and it was called The Four Agreements. And I read that book, and I got to tell you, that book changed my life. It really did. I've never read a book more than one time. I think I read that about 2 or 3. I just thought there's something in here that I need to get. And I always tell people, if you're in small business, you need to read this book. But one of them was not to get into other people's drama. Like if people bring drama into your life or into your business, don't pick that up, because more than likely it's got to be like, they might call up in the morning and just be upset, but more than likely it's got something to do with something else that's happened in their life. Like it's kind of like maybe the dog ate the newspaper, or their kid was really not taking their time to get ready to go to school. It made them late to go to work. And, just you're on that list that, like they go off on you. And so
that line.
Yeah. So it's really, like you kind of have to just kind of like just not get caught up in it a lot, especially right now. We're all going through so much.
So Earl, it's called The Four Agreements.
The Four Agreements. Yeah.
I read it a long time ago. I probably need to refresh reading it again.
Well, to tell you the truth, I've done that before. I went back and read that book again, because it really, if you're in small business, I'll tell you. And actually, you remember the Learning Annex? After I read that book, they actually had a class for a while that was based on that book, The Four Agreements.
Wow.
For small businesses, because I think it really, it's just like, and we've put out so many fires by not getting caught up in people's drama when they call and are, about something. And also too, sometimes by not doing that, you open up the door and you end up making a friend. Sometimes they'll open up to you and tell you, if you're being decent when they're being so combative, they'll open up what happened, what the real story is.
Yeah, it's
then you'll know the rest of the story.
I had a lady leave a 3-carat diamond earring in the boutique. And she was really not nice to me when we were checking out. I asked her, would you like to sign up and join my email list? No. I was like, okay, no problem. Checked her out and everything. It took her 3 months before she came back, because she dropped her dog off to the groomer next door. And the dog, she lived in Pacific Palisades. So this was just a random grooming. And I would look out for her. And finally, she came back one day, and I walked over to her and I said, hey, you were in my store a couple months ago and you left a diamond earring in the store. She just almost changed colors. She said, really? I said, yeah. She said, I wondered where it was. I left the other one at home. I was hopeful to find it. And I said, yeah, well, I have it. When you're done, come pick it up. And she came over. She apologized. She said, I was so nasty to you that day. And she explained what was going on. She said, I couldn't believe that you kept it. And I said, now had you joined my email list? And we both laughed. I said, I could have called you. And then
I told you so moment.
Right. I did. I teased her. I said, now had you left the other one, I would have thought it was a gift. But since you only left one.
That's great.
Too funny. That's funny.
Yes. Rafia, what's your motivation for this week? What are you doing?
Well, I think my motivation for this week is just going to be to complete a task from start
Okay.
to finish. I have a lot of things started, but I don't have anything finished.
That's okay.
So I think that's going to be my my goal. I will say that, you know, to just kind of get myself motivated to not only start the task, but to finish it all the way through. And if once I finish some of the ones that I have, I think that'll be a little bit easier, you know.
Great. That's good
Do
motivation.
that checklist.
Well, it looked like we were 20 today. It looked like you and I called each other and said, this is what we're wearing today.
Exactly.
We're getting,
Black's always a good color to go.
it
You should
is.
give me the memo. I'm in blue. Sorry, I got some black things. You know, I could have wore black. You know.
Next
I
time,
guess we
Earl, when
didn't
we
send you the
invite you.
memo.
Yeah.
We'll be three the kind way.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Earl. Thank you so much for coming on and joining us and telling us about your business. And for those of you watching, Earl is on Sepulveda, right near Tito's Tacos, between Washington Place and Venice Boulevard. And he is available through appointment. So I think we had his number going on the bottom. So you can call him, contact him, and make an appointment for all of your upholstery needs and your window covering needs and whatever custom things you want to challenge him with.
Yeah, we're here.
Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe he'll take them, maybe he won't.
Oh,
He will.
it seems like
As
we
your
can't
wife
say
said
no.
on her comment, she said that every project is a blessing and no project is too small or too large. So I liked
That's
that.
true.
And
Yeah.
I thought that we could end with that because that was a really nice thing for her to say.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah. So thanks again for having me. I really enjoyed it. It was great seeing you guys, and big hugs going out to both of you.
Big
Thanks for
hugs to you
joining us.
too. I miss seeing you every day, but thank you for coming on today. Thanks, Candance.
Thank
And
you.
thank you all for watching. If you like this, please share. And if you're interested in becoming a guest with us, let us know. Contact us or contact the chamber. Bye, everyone.
See you.